Has your health been covered up? Today, it's Revealing Wholeness with Dr. Troy-Munson, presented to you by Infinity Whole Health.
Dr. Troy-Munson, and this time we're going to explore the concept of what are bad fats, what do they do to the human body, is there hope, for society, because diet stuff is so nasty with all the food that's in our society at this time, that fresh foods and vegetables and good meat and whole grains are kind of a thing of the past. So what do we do? But before we begin that process, last time we covered a lot of things about good fats, the 4 types of omega-3s and where to find them, and that there is a lot of places out there, and that, it's not a hopeless situation. But let's now begin to look at what do bad fats do in the human body.
Okay, when we talk about bad fats, the whole population has been told you gotta have fish oil for cholesterol, for your heart, and things of this nature. So can we break down the different types of fat? Because I understand it comes from fish. Is that the only place that we get these types of oils, is from fish?
Got it. That is a great starting point. The oils that we need, there are 4 major omega-3 fats. So we get 2 from fish oil, and we get 2 from a vegetable source. So people have heard of fish oil, and if we break it down, there's DHA and EPA oils. So nobody likes to say decahexanoic acid, because that's DHA, and eicosapentaenoic acid, which is EPA. And so those are an animal-derived fat on like a fish or even a cow. And people say, cows have omega-3s?
Yeah.
Well, yes, if they're grass-fed. So grass-fed animals like deer, elk, bison, we eat them and everybody thinks, oh my gosh, this tastes so gamey. Mm-hmm. But it's that gamey taste, so what they're tasting is omega-3 fat.
Okay, so they're actually storing that up just like a fish would, in other words.
Absolutely. Because as an animal, we need those fats. The fats themselves, they make the coverings around all the cells, so our cell membrane is fat. Our brain is mostly fat. It's trying to get fat around each nerve so that we can transmit that signal of a nerve even conducting to a heart, to a lung, to our muscles. All these conductions of nerve impulses are controlled by fat and how well they get there. And so even our hormones are fat-based, some of them. And so we need these fats in order to do so many important things in the human body, not just, put fluff around us for winter. So if we have cows that are grass-fed, here we had Indians on the plain that, may have not eaten a lot of fat, but they certainly took their meat and smoked it for the wintertime, but they still had fat, and they had a lot of fat. And fat is a great thing for us. What isn't good is the trans fats, the fats that are chemically altered or plasticized fats, we call them, fake fats, margarine, the vegetable oils that we see a lot of, and there's a problem with a lot of these oils. We were sold, I remember being, 7, 8, 9 years old watching television and having a beautiful blonde actress tell me that polyunsaturated fats were really good for us. And yet, if we look at polyunsaturated fats under a microscope, we'll see that they kind of look like an amoeba that has multiple arms stretched out, to move and to feel its environment. But each one of those indents in between 2 arms of an amoeba would be a place where oxygen can actually oxygenate the fat and oxidize it.
So it actually structurally changes the fat cell itself.
Oxygen does, yes. It's really hard on fat, so it starts to break down and become rancid. And there's a lot of data out there on rancidity of fats and cancer. So we really want to be cautious when it comes to rancid fats. To give you another example, if our big food industries that make bread and pasta and all that took whole wheat, the whole kernel, ground it up with the germ and everything, and made bread, the bread would become rancid or bad within 7 days. And oftentimes faster, because bacteria are going to come in and eat it, and so it's going to mold, which is natural. And that's a good thing because molds can live on it. Most bread mold can't even live on it. That's why, we probably shouldn't eat it.
Of course, they do that to extend the shelf life of the product.
It's a monetary thing, not a health. And so the fats that are left in that germ, when you process it or mix it up with the wheat that you're grinding and don't pull it out first, you now get bread that comes rancid. And the fats in the bread are really the most important thing. And so that doesn't happen anymore. I want to backtrack just a little bit. We've really explored the EPA DHA oil, and I want to get into the other two omega-3 fats that are typical for the human body to really operate well, and they're a vegetable source, and that's ALA and GLA oil. So people out there can think of, oh yeah, I've heard of ALA, and it's alpha-linolenic acid and gamma-linolenic acid. Those two fats now, they're the ones that help transport minerals. They go to the skin to become vitamin D. They transport vitamin D. Those oils do a lot of things, and we can interchange GLA and ALA oil, but those can also be changed in the body to become EPA DHA oil. But it's a kind of a laborious process in the body, so it's much better if we actually get that kind of animal good fat and the vegetable good fat.
So then all the teaching that we've had so far with the different oils, canola oil, and there's so many different oils that they cook with.
Absolutely.
And it seems like about every 6 months they tell you, no, that's not the right oil. Go to the virgin olive oil or the other oils. So when it really basically gets down to it, we're actually modifying what Mother Nature's already built.
And if we look at those fats, we talk about polyunsaturated, and people are probably out there thinking, what about the monounsaturated?
Mm-hmm.
Well, monounsaturated means it has one opening for oxygen to come in and oxidize it. So it's a bit more stable than polyunsaturated.
Okay.
And of course, the most stable is saturated fat. It's animal fat. But the warmer temperature vegetable, the more saturated fat it has in it. So if we think about corn, ambient temperature 65 degrees it might be grown at, that oil is designed for a plant at 65 degrees. But you and I are not 65 degrees.
No, we're not even close.
So we would like something like an olive oil that may be ambient temperature of 80 degrees, or coconut oil that's even warmer. So those oils we're going to find are more saturated, better for us, though they might not be like the EPA DHA or the ALA GLA, but they're certainly going to have fats that are very good for us. So let's say I'm an athlete and I am not doing any grains, I'm eating very clean, and people are like, but you got a carbo load. No, we've already proven it with athlete after athlete after athlete. If they're eating a high quality, really, really heavy fat diet, their liver is taking that fat and converting it to glucose as it is needed. We burn fat really, really well. That's our body's design. And we store fat really well, and it's not damaging to us. And so the heart's first fuel that it wants to use in any kind of athletic event or running, or I'm chasing an animal down because I'm in the plains and I got to eat, the heart wants to burn saturated fat. That's the first thing it would like. And so having a diet high in saturated fat is absolutely acceptable. And so I know we're coming to the close on this, and next podcast I want to get into the aspect of the fake fats like margarine, plastics, things in our environment, all these things that are going on, and what's it doing to the human body. So we'll cover that next time.